Holy Nova would be absolutely monstrous here. We could see them go with the Catherine instead, but I really think Mac Daddy's Grace is fantastic. And so Tempo Storm needs to be probably wary of this. They may not ban away the Grace here, but I think that that is going to offer a lot of sustain going into the Cruel, even more so than an Arden.
Yeah, absolutely. They take the Scarf off, and Scarf is another hero that's good into the Rhyme, as well as with the Black Feather off the table. What other heroes do we know Lulu for?
Exactly. No,
Scarf and Celeste.
That is a really good pick against this roster. We don't see Scarf played a lot right now, but you're absolutely right. This is really taking Lulu off his picks. They're going to go with the Arden here. So, again, a great pick because Arden's late game crowd control is really strong, Denominate. But I don't know if that gives him quite the heal, especially if we see Tempo Storm pick up something like a Grace.
Absolutely. The Arden and the Krull do pair very well together as well. I'd almost be willing to say the Catherine would be really good into the Krull as well. But it is a little bit... yeah, it's hard to say. Obviously, the Grace can use that, or the Holy Nova, but she's stuck in place during that time versus something like a Catherine who can directly stun this Krull. Instead, they go with a Fortress, and that's going to provide some mortal wounds to cut down the sustain that Krull has.
Yeah, I understand why they're doing this. It is a really strong engage composition, which is interesting because Rhyme's not known for that. But with the Fortress, with some more treads, you know, they should be able to get into these fights pretty quick. The Weapon Pedal comes out here in the lane. And this is one that we've seen Denominate really take shape here in this update because of just the sheer amount of range Pedal has.
Absolutely, and then the 20% bonus weapon power she gets when using the trampoline, as well as that additional 1.2 range, makes her a huge threat over most heroes, at least in the lane. So it is going to come down. Oh, there's the Celeste, so that's the other pick that we know Lulu for. So took all three of them, or the other two, to get banned away, but we still got the Celeste through.
I do like Celeste. I just don't know if I like Celeste in this composition, Dominate, because, you know, Celeste isn't going to out-trade Rhyme as far as if they're close combat, and Fortress is going to be able to provide that speed boost for both the Rhyme and the Pedal. Pedal also really good at getting around those core collapses, getting around those stuns. If, you know, early reflex blocks are going to be needed here, Denominate, but if they pull those out, Tempo Storm really does have a good draft into this GankStars comp.
Yeah, they definitely do. We'll have to see what they end up doing about it. Obviously, the Celeste can be very good at zoning out these weapon heroes. We see it with the Kestrel quite often. The same can be said about the Pedal. Pedal's going to go 4 offensive items with only 1 defensive. So that does make her susceptible to massive damage spikes, even when building an Aegis. And the Rhyme as well. If the Rhyme is not able to get into that backline, he is slowly but surely going to get pelted down by Lulu.
Yeah, Hyde's got to step up for this one. Denominate. He's not known to being a prominent Rhyme player, but he really needs to strut his stuff going into this matchup. We are getting into it, though. This is game number 2, ladies and gentlemen, of this best of 3 between Tempo Storm and GankStars as Tempo Storm moves on here to the A side. But they are down 1 point in the series versus GankStars.
Yeah, I think they've got a reasonable draft going forward, though. But, you know, the Krull into the Rhyme, that's a fairly good matchup for GankStars. And the Celeste into the Rhyme and the Pedal, a fairly good matchup for GankStars.
Tempo again, early aggression, pushing forward. They're actually going to forgo their back rotation, go right for that Triad. As they want to start, it's a little bit what we call like an offset rotation where they're pretty sure GankStars is going to start in the back. So this allows them to clear out their farm, then rotate up to the lane. And avoids, it's kind of like an anti-conflict rotation.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do have an update for the on-stream game for those of us joining us today. It is Hammers that take game 1 over Rogue, and the draft is starting for that. So if they finish before us, we'll give you the updates. But Tempo Storm looking to push us to a game 3. Obviously, the weapon pedal can be incredibly potent in the late game.
Denominated, that's a huge implication for the Hammers Rogue matchup because both teams are neck and neck in that race for that world's bid spot. Knocking one out in week 1 would be enormous for either team. as actually the winner of that matchup will be playing the winner of this matchup. And I'd have to say both those teams are in great shape for being able to go possibly all the way to the finals this week. So I'm really looking forward to that matchup. But we got a fight breaking out. Xenotech, he's dropping low, but now he's turning his attention with full stacks on to Hyde. Hyde has to back away. It requires Gatsby to rotate down just to scare Hyde. I'm sorry, just to scare Xenotech from finishing that off. Oh, so much damage already coming out. But this is where Xenotech on this Cruel. This guy is actually a masterful Cruel. He's been playing this hero in the competitive scene for so long, and he knows it in and out. Wouldn't be surprised at all if Xenotech can just single-handedly hard carry this matchup. As he's just, you know, one of the better Cruels here in the Vainglory.
Absolutely, and when paired up with the amount of crowd control that GankStars have, obviously Mac Daddy going to be coming out big with the double gauntlets in the later portion of the game. Xenotech has the From Hell's Heart. Lulu is going to have that core collapse. They can lock this Petal or Rhyme up for a long period of time, and that is going to make either of these targets very easy to deal with. If they can land the stuns onto Petal, they're almost certainly going to get a kill right off the back. Rhyme might be a little bit tankier. He might you know, need a little bit more time to ramp up some fortified health, but very well can survive that burst if done correctly.
Absolutely. Nice core collapse, locks up Hyde, but he's still pushing in. Oh, fortified roots the Mac Daddy. Mac Daddy drops! Nice job by Rhyme getting those Winter Spires. They're not going to be able to take away that trio, but they're turning their attention on the Xenotech and Lulu. Xenotech rotates down on the bottom of the jungle. They're going behind the Crystal Sentry Fort, and they're going to get the kill. Tempo, 2 quick kills, first blood as well, and they're going to get some of the gold. Nice pressure coming out from Tempo Storm here, and I agree with you, Denabine. They look like they have a composition that can definitely apply this pressure early and continue it throughout the entirety of this game.
Yeah, they definitely could be looking to do so, and, you know, Gatsby is going to take quite a while to come online on Petal. He needs to hit level 8 for the overdrive on Trampoline, as well as he needs to get a 3rd offensive item before he's really going to start to ramp up the heavy amount of damage. Now, Lulu is looking to go for that Shatterglass first item, most likely, but Xenotech is up here, Shadows Empower Me onto Playboy Afro.
Ooh, looking to go in, but now they turn the attention. It's Lulu dropping low. Core collapse too high. Doesn't land. There's a Lulu dropping. Xenotech tries to apply some stacks, but he has to get out of there, taking too much damage from both Petal and the Rhyme. Again, in these close fights, it's going to be really tough to get the kills here. Tempo, oh man, they are definitely improving their look from game 1. They already have a 2,000 gold lead. It feels different. I mean, they had an early lead last game too to dominate, but this time around, it feels more impactful.
Yeah, it definitely does. They're using the range of this Petal while it's very similar to Celeste range to their best of their ability. Now, once Lulu hits level 8 and overdrives the Heliogenesis, he will gain a permanent increased range on that ability, whereas Petal is only going to get 4 seconds worth of increased range. So it's going to come down to what Gatsby is able to do, but now Xenotech's on the run. Here's Mac Daddy.
Oh, Afro drops low. A Solar Storm, it's going to miss. Lulu almost got the snipe onto Playboy Afro. He's not going to get it. Hyde and Gatsby do a good job at just kind of keeping the damage at a distance here. Rotation's going to go with both teams. Clear out those other triads, move up, but it's actually going to be Tempo moving up to lane first to potentially push this lane back up into the face of Tempo, or of GankStars. 3-0 to nominate with a 2,000 gold lead, or a little bit under 2,000. Really going to be a good look for here for Tempo. Question is, can they get that turret early? Can they keep this pressure mounting? Because we saw this happen in game number 1. GankStars had a really rough early game, but turned it around and were able to take the win.
Yeah, I think GankStars has a more realistic late game composition, so it is nice to see Tempo Storm pushing this Rhymes advantage early, but now GankStars, they're looking to get onto this first turret. Xenotech might have Hyde caught out.
Xenotech might, but it's going to be Lulu running away. Xenotech had to go to the bush to hide. Nice core collapse, only catches Afro. Back down, he's still low. This has been the challenge with Arden all game, is he struggled to stay alive with his health. His health pool dropping pretty quickly. He doesn't have enough defense items just yet to survive, and especially the weapon damage coming out of Gatsby is really hurting, like, really bad. Xenotech going to come down into the jungle now. And so a little bit of a disengage here by GankStars. They're going to be happy enough keeping that lane from pushing up to their turret. But again, they've really struggled with these fights to find any pressure.
Yeah, it's been really difficult for either of these teams to actually get any sort of objective control. It's been a kill here and there for Tempo Storm, but they haven't been able to find, an ace, and they don't really have a good turret pushing composition unless if there's a whole minion wave with them and Rhyme is on the turret.
Exactly. So it's going to take all of both Tempo Storm or GankStars when they start to push for an objective to be able to start getting those pushed down here. I would say if, a couple of kills from Tempo, they'll be able to easily move into this turret because Rhyme does have such good objective taking power. His damage against objectives just seems to really be strong mid to late game here. Gaspy.
Well, most skill shot heroes are because, with the skill shots, they tend to have that higher ratio as far as their CP or weapon power. And objectives will not move out of the way of them. I mean, it'll sit there and take Helios all day long. So if either one of these teams, if either Rhyme or Celeste is allowed to be alone on a turret with minions with them, they will be able to take that turret down very quickly. I do give the edge to Celeste for her objective taking power, just because of the cooldown though.
Yeah, absolutely. Lulu's dropping low. There's a Hell's Heart comes out. Nice gauntlet. Stuns up Gaspy. He's blown away by the Solar Storm. Great job by GankStars to try to turn this fight around, Denominate, as they find their first kill of the game. Now it's up to Temple to try to keep their turn alive, but like you said, the damage that comes from GankStars right now, great at objective takes here. Hyde just trying to stay alive. He's going to fall. Petal's back up here, but GankStars, great job. And they did exactly what they needed to do. They only need one kill. They were able to put the pressure, turn it around, get an objective. And this is, a large part due to what Celeste can do once she hits level 9, which you saw her just hit. So, something that Tempo needs to be extra careful now as we go through the rest of the game.
Absolutely. It makes it very unsafe for Gaspy to try to farm up his own minions, as he has to come pretty far out. We see Xenotech and Mac Daddy rotating down to the shop now, but Mac Daddy is the only one that really has gold to pick anything up, and he's probably going to work towards that Crucible for his next item, because obviously we have such a devastating AoE stun ability in that Valkyrie that we have to block up coming out of hiding.
No, absolutely. Xenotech on the Cruel, man. He's trying to hang in there, but look at his CS. Only 26 to Hyde's 52. This, even though they've got an objective lead, they've really struggled in that regard. I mean, he's way behind. Only has that tension bow. Doesn't even have a tier 3 defensive item. So he's got to be extra careful. He's been a little bit mitigated. We have seen Lulu. He's been the one, mostly the recipient of the gold. So he's trying to stay ahead. So he's been taking a lot of that farm from Xenotech. And it's helped. He's got a lot of damage. But you've got to be careful. If he goes down, you do put too much of your damage in one basket.
Now, the Krull's real responsibility here is just to shut down Rhyme as frequently as possible. Get your stacks built up on Rhyme and reduce the amount of damage that he's able to put out. And that's really all Xeno has to do, which is, to me, it's kind of an uncomfortable playstyle coming from him, because he excels really well with those heroes that are, game changers, that are, able to get in and make plays, and Krull just isn't, he's just not in that kind of realm of possibility. Here's the attack of the pack.
Nice attack there, because the Valkyrie down, core collapse, and Solar Storm land onto Gaspy. They do dodge out the gauntlet block, so he's not trapped inside. This might have been the saving grace here. Afro, though, he's the one who's the focus of attention. He's going to sacrifice himself, and he is going to drop. GankStars have just evened up the kills, and now they are looking to push again. And so, Tempo, they've had this early game momentum to dominate, and it's just crumbling beneath them.
Yeah, like I said, Celeste starts to come online a little bit earlier than the Petal, as well as her utility in fights is much higher than the Petal. Petal, yes, can burst somebody down very quickly with the trampoline, getting that bonus weapon power, that bonus attack range. But if Gaspy is getting poked out before the fight even begins, it becomes too risky for him to use that trampoline to make an engagement.
Yeah, that's been problematic here. Petal really hasn't, been able to be effective in these fights because how quickly GankStars can now move on top. You see Lulu actually finishes his tier 3 boot, so prioritizing mobility is exactly what we were talking about in order to prevent the disengage that comes out of the Cruel Fortress Petal composition. Rhyme Fortress Petal composition. But,
well, we also have to look at the builds here right now. Like, the reason that things are starting to come back over to GankStars is Hyde is sitting on a lonely Shatterglass for his damage. He's gone into a lot of defense as well. So once Xenotech is latched onto him, when you get to that 8 stack mark, you're reducing somebody's outgoing damage by 49.6%, basically 50%. And with only one Shatterglass and the likelihood of Rhyme hitting both the initial impact as well as the delayed explosion from that Winter Spire, really brings his damage down substantially.
Yeah, he is looking to build some items eventually, but you're right. He doesn't have enough gold to even start a tier 2 offensive item, so it's been really problematic. GankStars, thanks to their good vision, they have such a good handle on the rotations from Tempo. Now they're rotating down, looking to put pressure on this next turret, and already getting some Heliogenesis and Supernova damage onto that. It's going to be really hard for them to deal with the pressure, as the lane and the jungle are both fighting against Tempo Storm's ability to farm. And you already see again, Lulu, great job, huge amount of damage. One more Supernova would do it, but there comes the Wolves coming out. Playboy Afro jumping in. Core Collapse does land on the Rhyme. Hyde's dropping low. He gets the Valkyrie, but he doesn't land on anybody. So he's unfortunately not able to complete any of that damage. There comes some fortified health now. Nice block. Stops that from Hell's Heart from Xenotech. But Xenotech, he's still going in. Trying to find this pedal. Gaspy does get away to dominate, but it just, again, looks like GankStars, they have got the last laugh of these fights. They are just absolutely stronger mechanically as far as just their positioning, how they're engaging these fights. It just looks like it's their game to lose.
Well, especially when Lulu gets on one of his comfort picks. Again, he doesn't have that many that we really know he excels with, but when you do give him one of those, it is hard to take all 3 or 4 of them away. When he gets one, he plays out of his mind on that hero. Right now on the Celeste, he is doing so much work. The kills might not reflect it, but he's literally almost single-handedly forced out all of these team fights that Tempo has chosen, and then the Helios coming out have made them turn their tail almost immediately.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it looks like Tempo's looking for a fight, but instead it's GankStars Lulu who ends up actually starting the damage off. And once that damage starts, once those Heliogenesis start getting placed, it's really hard to dodge them. It's like a minefield. Afro, understanding they might be going for Gold Mine, tries to get some vision, maybe just slow things down here as they try to clear the lane. GankStars, though, they know they've got dominance here in the jungle, might start this Gold Miner back up. Instead, they're going to actually move up to lane because it's Tempo Storm. They're looking for this first objective, but I don't know if they're going to find it just yet because here comes GankStars with the rotation already. They do split up here. I think they're trying to find Lulu. They look to move in, but there's Hyde. He goes right on to Lulu, roots him up, blocks a little bit too late. Valkyrie off the mark, but it does hand on Jack Daddy, and it's Lulu. Drops low. He's deleted. Gaspy's very low. Double Gauntlet used by Mac Daddy, but they're out of turret range. Can Afro survive this fight? He is. There's another kill. Mac Daddy's down, and now Tempo find their first team fight of the last 4 or 5 minutes, and now looking to possibly take out their turret. Nice stun, blocked out by Afro, as Xenotech just trying to keep this turret alive.
Yeah, he's trying to, and now as the barrier is going to start coming back, it is going to be a little bit difficult for Tempo to take it. They have to commit a little bit more time, but they do get it down, and they are looking for more.
Yeah, get it down, clear out some of the farm. Now it's a recall back. Xenotech, he gave up, goes down to clear out his back jungle, knowing he's not going to be able to get much for that. And, you know, honestly, not a huge loss for GankStars. They still have a slight lead, but the pressure's been swung around. The mid lane's pushed up to GankStars' turret. You know, they're even in, well, not even objectives, but they're down one finally. The gold is only 2,000 lead at 15 minutes, so it's not unsurmountable for Tempo to start winning these fights again. And you talked about Hyde. Hyde's starting to finally build into that next tier 3 item. He's got that piercing shard coming out here, potentially broken myth. So we'll see how GankStars plays this, Denominate.
Yeah, definitely a close matchup here. Both teams have been finding fights back and forth, and it is GankStars right now with the objective lead, but oh, they have a little bit of a gold lead too, but the kills are in favor of Tempo Storm thanks to the 3 early ones they were able to find. And then obviously that last fight as well, they were able to get Lulu and Mac Daddy. Now 15, 16 minutes into the game, Kraken is on the board, and it is going to be a close one. The next team that wins a fight should be able to take that Kraken down pretty quickly. We talked about it a little bit earlier. the objectives do not move out of the way of Heliogenesis. The objectives do not move out of the way of Winter Spire. So if either team gets on that Kraken for even just 10-15 seconds, it's basically going to be a Kraken.
Oh no, Gaspy, he got caught out, dodges out the gauntlet, and the Solar Storm's blocked up. Double gauntlet's going to be a complete whiff, I mean, whatever. Anyways, gonna move in. They are gonna be able to clear out the jungle though, get the pressure pushing tempo back. Now they're gonna start this Kraken. Might have been too soon though. Hyde and Gaspy and Afro are rotating in. They're gonna contest it, Denominate. They're gonna go in. The Wolves come out. We see this all too often. The Wolves push back GankStars, but did they do a good enough job coming back into the fight? It's gonna go back and forth in pressure. Lulu trying to get the damage in place to Heliogenesis, but there comes the Valkyrie. GankStars secures the Kraken, Denominate. This is a massive blow to Tempo Storm.
That is, and if GankStars can chase down and pick up a kill here, it would be amazing for their push. Here, where's the Helio? There it is!
Gaspy so low. Solar Storm. It's not gonna hit. Whoa, almost. Oh. Very close. But Xenotech goes too far, gets deleted. And now, Tempo Storm might be able to take this Kraken pretty quick.
They might be able to, but with Lulu helping push down, this is a guaranteed choke point turret for the side of GankStars. Kettle, Hyde, and the Fortress obviously going to try to work on that as much as they can. And now Gaspy and Playboy are wasting a lot of time that they could be damaging the Kraken. Hyde's not even on it. He's looking to get on Lulu.
He is going in. There's some damage. Root does land. No, there it goes. There's the Root finally. They just want to kill, but Lulu, all right, turns around. Looking to go on. Does get, oh, it's a nice trade by Baghdad. He gets the kill onto Gaspy. So, to a 1-for-1 trade here. Denominate, that's not really good for Tempo. They need to take out this Kraken sooner than later. And now Gaspy's making them run a wild goose chase.
Yeah, meanwhile, this Kraken is starting to wail on the Vein Crystal turret here. It's half health. They should be able to take it down, but with Gaspy down, this should be that turret dropping before this Kraken goes down.
It's very likely to nominate, as there's one more hit. They're going to use the Wolves, I think, just to make sure Cruel doesn't come in here and try to surprise them. But, you know, it's going to be a quick, easy turret. They're going to get the Kraken down, but one turret remaining is about as risky as it gets. You now have exposed yourself. I think, honestly, you don't even have to get aced at this point. For GankStars, just has to get maybe 1 or 2 kills. They should be able to go into the last turret, take it out, and win the game.
Yeah, definitely looking for it. And again, it's Tempo Storm in the lead with kills, but they are so far down in objective control right now. They're cutting it close on the gold, but I mean, they're down 3 turrets at this point, you know, 4 total, but they're 3 under GankStars. And with the Celeste, again, if they just find one single fight, GankStars can easily push down that 1 turret.
Absolutely. Incredibly close team fights recently, but again, objective control-wise, GankStars has just dominated. As they've been able to win the fights that mattered, win and get objectives for them, and that's what's important. It's good macro play coming out of them. GankStars now, I don't think they really need to go and push too much. In fact, if anything, just maybe ensure Tempo doesn't come peeping into the jungle, because when the Kraken spawns again, they could honestly just move in and take out the Kraken and close out the game. Kraken spawning right now. So Storm might know about it. They are eyeing, looking to kind of keep up here the lane. They're going to get found out, so Tempo knows that GankStars has their number. GankStars honestly not going to start the Kraken. I think they're really just hoping to bait out Tempo Storm. Nice flare to kind of keep an eye on both the jungle bush as well as the Kraken, so they now know GankStars isn't taking that. GankStars is the lane. But look, Hyde trying this strategy of just the surprise attack. Typically a move we see from Cruel, and with some success. So we'll see. Tempo actually is able to come in here and now clear GankStars out of the jungle. Might be able to put some vision down and try to get a surprise attack fight in the jungle here. But GankStars, I think GankStars still have the advantage. Real risky play here to dominate. They're going for Kraken. I'm not sure if this is the right call.
Nice positioning, though.
Nice positioning by Hyde. Finds Lulu. Core collapse misses, but the gauntlet is on point. Valkyrie comes down. Double gauntlet. Not gonna save. Not gonna save Lulu. Lulu drops. Now it's Xenotech, but oh no, Xenotech. He's melting. He's deleted. It's just Mac Daddy alive. Mac Daddy no longer alive. And an ace coming out of Tempo Storm. What a turnaround. Tempo Storm getting that jungle control. Getting the positioning. Hyde was able to surprise attack Lulu. When he pulls that off to dominate, they win the fight.
Yeah, it's been pretty close. They were able to get an ace here, so now Hyde is working on this Kraken, and he should easily be able to take it alone. But with that choke point turret getting dropped by Gatsby and Playboy Afro, they're now going to turn their attention to help Hyde finish this off so that they can close out this game. Only 2 turrets between Tempo Storm and their first point of split 1 and 2 of all of season. They've got to be, you know, coordinated with this push here.
Hey, they've got to be. They can't give up an ace. Most definitely can't, because you'll have a base race for sure. GankStars, they are an experienced team. They've got a lot of veteran knowledge. They're going to be able to make good decisions regarding execution of this team fight. So we'll have to see how exactly this plays out here. GankStars now putting pressure onto the Kraken, trying to take the Kraken down quickly. They've got 2 turrets here. Tempo should be able to successfully get one of these 2 turrets. They've got to be careful. Here comes the Wolves. They're going in, attacking the pack. Core Collapse misses. Valkyrie lands. And so now Tempo Storm's got the advantage. There's a Gauntlet coming out, trying to block out Hyde. Solar Storm might have done it. Core Collapse gets him. Hyde is going to drop here. Oh, no. This is not looking good. And Cruel goes down. Xenotech's low. But I don't think Gatsby and company should risk it. As Lulu, he's at full health. He's looking just to keep applying pressure, but oh my goodness, no, Tempo might get this to nominate. GankStars are trying to stop the Kraken, but Gatsby and Afro, they're about to pull a GankStar onto GankStars as Tempo.
No.
Are they going to...
GankStars feels bad, man.
Yeah, it feels bad. They're not going to stop Kraken in time. They are going to give up the point to Tempo Storm, and we're going to Game 3.
Yeah, Game 3, this matchup has been so close. But Tempo pulled together their first point. Can they pull together a whole series? If they do, they would tie GankStars up 2-2 in the standings and move on to day 2 and look for those additional points. And I think they play the winner of Rogue Hammers, so that's going to be a pretty difficult matchup as well.
Yeah, so a lot of the work kind of